Okay, starting as always, before we break down their tendencies in film, we got to get into the scouting I did. We got the Atlanta Falcons offensive personnel usage. So I tabled this based on personnel grouping and the usage. Obviously, Penix comes back against this game against the Patriots, but he was hurt. So I had to use the last 3 games he played, which was against the Falcons, the Bills, and the Niners. Those 3 games were 200 snaps, 11 personnel was 106 of those, spread passes, and a lot of their passes and runs especially came from 11 personnel looks to create spacing and stress nickel defenses, and then 12 personnel, which was 87 of those 200. Obviously, there's something I'm going to talk about later when I break film down, and it's how they were disguising plays, what they're using similar or same plays in 11 personnel, then doing it again in 12 personnel. And it's a great way to disguise. It's one of the ways I use to disguise plays, and a lot of coaches do. And then there's 21, 22 personnel that they use in short down situations, power or I form looks, mostly play action. By the way, spoiler alert, they do use it out of play action, but it's rarely used in 4-minute drill, short down situations. And then there's 10 personnel where they'd use it in the complete opposite, fast, pass-only, rushed situations. That's what we have here. And then the next table here, it's run, pass by personnel group. Just like last week, I tabled it pass, run, and then of those 87, how much were pass and how much were run. So 12 personnel, you see the 54 to 46% there. I tabled it. And then there's 11 personnel where it's 40% pass and 60% run. Obviously, you'd expect them to run more in that heavy package, but that heavy package in 12 personnel is where they utilize the play action, utilize the fact that they have Kyle Pitts as a wide receiver, once in a generational tight end who isn't at his full potential, to say the least, but I mean, his body type is rare. And then you have 11 personnel, as I said, 60.3% run. Bijan Robinson is going to be heavily involved, whether it's in a run or pass. And then 10 personnel, obviously, in fast rush situations, only twice. And then there's other sets like 21 and 22 where they use in I form or just short yardage situations. And this is where the play action I talked about, point of play action, is to get defenses to buy in. But when you have the best running back in the league, a dual threat quarterback, that's 80%. So you're going to try to get defenses to buy in to the fact that it's run, just to play action it or throw a run or throw a bubble. Next one here, we got situational run pass splits. These are the most fun to make, but they're the most tiring though. We got all plays, we got the situation, and then we got the percentage of the amount of passes. So overall, the Falcons ran 58% of the time in this game, 37 rushes out of the 64 plays, and passed 41%, which is 26 of them. As a industrial engineer, these are one of my specialties. You table it and then write a conclusion. So you got first down, they favored the run, roughly 62% run, consistent with a run heavy script in first down situations. On third and short, they passed more than they ran though, which is 67% pass, shows a willingness to risk passing in a convertible short yardage. They treat third and 2 like a third and medium to get teams to buy into the run, and then utilize their big-bodied receivers like Kyle Pitts or Drake London, or even using a F tight end in a 12 personnel look. And then third and long, obviously that's where it's obviously 90+% as expected, but it's where you're almost guaranteed to get off the field, because there are a lot of teams that, yes, they run screens or runs and they look dumb to fans, but they're actually trying to catch teams off guard and actually commit and then try to make it a fourth and manageable to kind of get a decision in there. It's most likely a drop back pass. You're going to guarantee them to pass so you can fully pass, commit to the pass there. It's something defenses can exploit. So obviously you see the amount of plays here and the rush pass. And so as a coach, So as a coach, I can know what my defensive coordinator is trying to do here as a coach. And then there's the next slide here, a tactical summary and coaching insights. I summarized the Atlanta Falcons, and I said the core identity obviously was 11 to 12 personnel, running 11 personnel plays in 12 personnel, or running 12 personnel plays in 11 personnel, or even running out of the same play in a different personnel. So you kind of chess match them there. It's obviously adaptability to disguise both looks. You never know what to expect. They try to do that, but I think Michael Penix is taking away from this offense, which is loaded. Then you got formation, what to expect, like in summary, bunch variations, whether it's bunch split offset, whether it's double split bunch, whatever it may be, creates leverage for rub routes and motion keys. And motions. Why not put your big-bodied receivers in motion, give them that extra advantage there, or give your generational running back like a ready motion, which is a pre-snap motion I have in my terminology. A lot of different things you can do with these tools. And then you have short tendencies, first down, 12 personnel. You have max protect with 2-man route concepts. I show an example of this in my breakdown. And then lastly, the red zone usage, 12 personnel, heavy tight end involvement. Obviously, when you have Kyle Pitts, so it's like you're playing 11 personnel, except you have Kyle Pitts as a wide receiver, and then you have another big body tight end. And then the note I wrote on that as well. And the notes here, by the way, it's like, as an offensive coordinator myself, why am I going to do this? And if I can explain that why, I think they can do it as well. So they use it to rip motions by the tight ends. I have plays like this in my offensive database where the F is on a move motion and goes to the fullback position. Just a lot of different things, as I said, to play with. But we gotta get into the strengths, weaknesses, and tendencies. So let's continue with the video.